In this week, we have talked about the conditional statement, guys. Okay? Conditional statement. And what is conditional statement? If we want to condition, there are cases. For example, if we want to design a code to compare the two numbers, the 5 or 7, it's bigger or not. Okay, and so we need to use the conditional statement, guys. Okay, first of all, we need to give the if statement. Okay, it's just like in a C or C++. It's pretty basics. Okay, and so the basic syntax is if we need to give the condition, and we need to write the double dot in here and suit or statement should be given in here. Okay, in Python, suit is one or more statement controlled by the header. Okay, if, else, elif. Okay, and so also we need to use the indentation, and so defines block structure. No braces should be included in here. Okay, otherwise we need to use C or C++. In the C or C++ structure or the language rules, we need to give the braces, but in Python we don't need to do that. Okay, and so for example, if we are giving the condition and then we need to give the some process or suit in here. Okay, and also we need to give the if. Okay, else if other condition, and then we can give the suit. And also if we want to end this condition, we need to write the just else. Okay, and so it returns always 0 or 1 or false or true. Okay, so we need to write the example session in order to understand this concept. Okay, first of all, we need to give the import math in here, just like this one. A casting float should be applied to the input in here, A, and B and C. We need to define the square root equation at this case. Okay, and so the delta is equals to the what? B times B minus 4 times A times C. Okay, and if you want to condition this condition, and so delta is smaller than 0, then print no root. Okay, otherwise else should be given in here. X1 is equals to the what? Minus B plus math is a library to compute the what? Mathematical operations on the what? Variables or the numbers. Okay, and sqrt can be used in here, delta divided by 2 times A. Okay, and in C2 we need to give the minus process. Okay, and so in the print we should give the x1, we should give the empty space in here, and x2 should give the brackets in here with the format of the what? The x1 and x2. X1 and x2 fills to the what? To these brackets, fancy parentheses. Okay, so if we run this code and then we can give the 5, for example, 1, 2 and 1. Okay, and so the roots are the minus 1 and minus 1. Okay, this is the pretty basic simples or the samples about the what? The utilization of the if and else in the what? In Python programming language. Okay, so in the example 2, we just give the 5 in here if A greater than 0, and then we can give the print in here just like this one, bigger. We don't have the no syntax error in here. Okay, else print smaller, just like this one. And so 5 is bigger than 0, and then it's printed to the what, to the bigger in here. Otherwise it's smaller, just like this one, -2, and it's smaller. Okay. So we need to copy these terms also in here, and in the x3 we can give the what a is equals to the 5 if a bigger than 0, and we can give the what the print bigger in here, and also we can write the bigger in here, just like this one, or we can write another print in here, bigger. And else print smaller. Okay, this is a syntax error, guys, because the indentation after column must be given on a new line unless they use the single line in here. For example, if I remove these terms in here, this is current, this is legitimate. Okay, but if I use this term and so if we give this syntax, this is a syntax error due to indentation. Okay. This is the simple rule, but it's effective for the what, for the utilization of the Python programming language. Okay, so this is the third example, and at the 4 we can give the a is equals to 5, a greater than 0, and we can give the what, the print in here bigger and bigger and bigger, and else print smaller. Okay, so there's no syntax error, but if I choose to add the tab in here or indentation, and so we have the error unexpected indent in here, because this creates the what inconsistent of the what indentation rule. Okay, and so this is the syntax error, but we cannot add any dimensions in here. The multi-dimensional code can be written in here, but we need to be careful about to do what, to add indentation just like this one. Okay, and at 5 we should give another example. A casting via integer values the input and give a value. Okay, so if a greater than 0, and so we can give the what, this is positive, right? And so else if a smaller than 0, and then print the negative. And else if this is not true, and so it must be equal to 0, right? For example, 5, it's a positive. For example, -4, this is a negative. Or for example 0 and 0. Okay, and so this is the nested conditional statement, guys. Okay, we can use the what, the nested if, more than one if into the what, into the one main if conditional values. Okay, this is another rule for the Python programming language. And so what about this one? If this is the case, and so I can copy all of these terms in here, and if a bigger than 0, print positive, and we can use the elif in here, a smaller than 0, and so this is the negative. Okay, and else print 0 can be added in here, and so this is the more identical with the what, with the upper code of these terms. Okay, for example 5, for example -4, For example, 0. Okay, these are the identical with x5. Okay. Any question? This is so simple, but we need to continue with the extra example in here. X can be assigned with a 10. Okay, and so x is none. We can check this is a number or not, or string or not. None is nothing in the Python programming language, but the x is none can control the what the print of the no values in here. We can control of this, and elif x 0, and so we can write the negative and else print none negative. Okay, and so if I write this code, this non-negative values, but what about this one? This is the Mehmet. Okay, and so we have the type error in here. Mehmet is a non, no, and elif x is smaller than 0, but in this case we have to what not supported between the instance of the str and int, which means that if this x is a string, and so we have the syntax error. But what about this one? None. See, no values. Okay, so this is the utilization of the what, the if and else condition in the Python programming language, guys. And so in the second case we need to talk about the while loop. Okay, just like this one, while loop. While loop is just like the C or C++ programming language. The utilization is the same. Okay, and so the basic syntax is to what we need to give the while and condition in here, and suit should be given at this case. Okay, and else we can give the last one condition in here, just like this one. Okay, and so while condition is checked before each iteration, use break to exit in order to what to early exit. Okay, so in order to understand this usage of the while, we need to give the x1 in here. Okay, for example, if I assign to the what the I is equals to the 0, and while I smaller than 10, and so we need to give the what to print I. Okay, and so I plus equal to the 1 can be given in here. And so if I run this code, and then we will have what the 0 1 2 3 4 blah blah 9. Okay, this is pretty basics, because the I is increased at each iteration here. The first values of the what the 0, and so this I is compared with the what with the 10, and so if condition is true, and so this loop is to what is running. Okay, this is the first example. What about the second one? I is equals to the 0, while I greater than 10, smaller than 10, and so print I, but with a basic difference. If we put the what, the argument of the end into the print values or print function here, and so this I is written as what 0 empty space, 1 empty space, 2 empty space in here. Okay, and I equals to the 1, and so also we can give the what the print done just like this one, and so 0 1 2 3 4 blah blah 9 and done is added at the end of this output. Okay. Any question? If there's no question, and so just remember the previous week, we can create the list just like this one. 70, 80, and 90, and 100. Okay. I is equals to the 0 in here, and while I len of a can be given here, which means that we have the length of the a list, which is returned to the what, to the 10. Okay. And so how can we reach the whole values of the list at this case? Just see that the print a I, this is the bracket for the what, for reaching the values of the what, to the list. Okay, and so the end can be given in here just like this one, and I plus equals to the 1 is the increment rate of these terms. And so if I run this code, and then we will have the whole elements of the list values in here. Okay, and so we can create what, the looping by index in this case. Okay. Any question? There's no question, and so we will continue with what, with another examples. Okay, so in the fourth examples we can find the what, percentage 2 values in here. Okay, and a 4 3 12 56 32 3 78 and 21 8 9 44. Okay, so in order to analyze the which one should be modded with what, with the 2 remains the 0 or 1, these are the process, these are the question. And so how can we test this question? I is equals to the 0, while I ln a can be given in here just like this one. And so we need to give the what if conditional statement in here. If ai mod operation of the 2, which is equals to the 0, gives us to the what, to the even numbers. Okay, and so the print ai and empty space, and at each case I should be increased with the what, with the 1. See, 4 12 56 78 78 44 is given at this code, guys. Okay, this is the even, finding even numbers. So in the x5 I is equals to the 10 while I given in here, and to print I and empty space I minus equals 1, and else print the last value can be given by with the what, with the I. Okay. What's the output of this code? Just answer me, guys. What's the output of this code? Yes. If this is true, and then see this the 10, 9, 8, blah 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 1, last values 0. Okay. And so this must be identical with someone. We have the default conditions in here. But what about this? See, this condition is interpreted just like this one. I think. I don't know, but I think. See, these are the identical. And so, in this case, we have this condition. Even if we write this value, this is automatically inserted to the what? Inserted the condition of the while. Okay? This is important. Because in the professional code, we use this kind of scratch. Okay? So, what about this one? Ankara. While S, and print S, and S equals to the what? This one. What's the output of this code, guys? Right now, just remember the list assignments. At each case, the first letter, I think, is removed in here. Or what? If this is the case, and so the Ankara, Nankara, Kara, Ara, Ra, A. It's given in here. And so at each case, new update at each time can be given. And so in the last case, the S is terminated because we don't have the S. S is a none at the last case. Okay? This is the idiom of the what? The utilization of the or string manipulation examples. I think this is okay. This license every time it reduces the string until it becomes the empty. Okay. So if this is the case, we can write the string in a reverse order. Input, give a word, okay, and so I is len s minus 1 because we have the first index which is equal to the what? To 0, while I greater than equals to the 0 and print si and empty space. I minus equals 1. What's the output of this code? Just tell me. For example, if I give the Mehmet or Ali in here, Ali, see, I-L-A is given in here. Or we can just write to the what? Just remember the list manipulation. If we use this idiom, slice idiom in here, this is identical. For example, the Ali, see, il, I-L-A and I-L-A, which is given in here, okay? But we don't have the empty space in here, but in order to do that, we need to give the what? This kind of information in here. A-I-L-N-I-L-A. Okay? This is the 7th examples of the what of our session. So, how can we write the reverse list? I is equals to the 0 ln A, which is equals to the ln A, and while I ln A 2 and I and A ln A minus 1 I. This is the last index at the first place. This is the first index must be equals to the what? A then I minus 1 I AI. Okay. I plus equals to the 1. And so at the end of this case A. And we need to give what the A 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay. And so if you want to do this, and so 9 8 7 blah 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 0 is written on this page. Okay. Or we can write these terms A minus 1. At this code, what happens if I run this code? Just tell me, guys. What's the output of this print? This is the swap operation. What's the result of this print? Anyone? Just tell me. Ayşenur, Ali Osman. If I run this code, and so this must be reversed to this process, because in this case this list is reversed. After that, if I choose to write the reverse of the reverse, and so which will have the normal list at this moment. Okay, because this is the reversed, this is the reversed of reverse, which is normal. Okay, or organized. And so at the 9, for example, n is equals to the n 0, while n smaller than 6, so n plus equal 1. At each iteration we increase the values of the n, and so if n percentage 2, which is equals to 0, we need to find to the what the even numbers in here. Okay, and so we can continue of this code. But what about this one? If n equals to the 5, we can break. And so if this is the case, we can print the what? The odd numbers for whole terms in here, and n. Okay, so else print completed without break. Okay. So what is the output of this code, guys? Ali Osman, just try. Guys, this can be a question of any company to recruit you. Okay, it's simple, but it's effective, because this is effective due to the what? This directly measure of your knowledge of the syntax of the Python programming language. Just tell me, what is the output of this code? In order to analyze this code, just see that. We should look at one by one. First of all, we assign to the n to the 0. And so, what about this condition? This condition is true, and so the loop is going on. Okay? N is smaller than 6 because it's 0, and so n increase to the minus and increase to the 1. Okay? And so 1% or mod of the 2, which is equals to the 0, continue. 1 is not giving to the what remained part of the what 0 in here, and so we need to check also n is equals to the 5. 1 is not equals to the 5, and so this print must be given to the what, to the output in here. But at the another iteration we have the 2, and so 2 is smaller than 6, and so this one is going on in here, and so 2 remain part of the 2 is 0, and so continue, and then we should give to the what, to the print odd values in here. So we can write the whole values of what, the odd numbers in here, guys. Okay. What about this one, 12? See, in the 12 we have the 1 and 3, but why? For example, 7 is odd, 9 is odd, but we can't write to the odd parts of these terms in here. Why? Just tell me. Anyone say the right answer? Okay, thank you, Fares Ahmed. This breaks gives us. Okay, Fares. And so if I choose to select 9 in here, what's the output of this code right now? Just tell me. You can do this. Yes. See? 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay? That's so simple, but you need to solve the more practices in order to understand the rule of the Pythons, guys. Okay? Any question? Any question? If there's no question, and so we will continue with the for loop. Okay? So, just like the while, for loop creates the loop. Okay? The repeatable actions, which is iterated with the what over the any iterable object for variable in sequence. And then we can give the suite in here. This is the basic syntax, guys. Okay? And else we can give the what, another suite. Okay? So in order to understand these terms, like always we do, we need to create the examples. Okay? And so if we don't have any examples, we can't understand how it is implemented on the what programming. Okay? And A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So how can we use the for loop? For is a keyword in here, and so I. This is the special or the arbitrary random variable in here, but this I search to the what in A. In is another keyword in here, and A is a sequence, guys. Okay? And so if I wanted to do this, and so the print I and this one, and so what is the output of this code right now? Anyone tell me? If I run this code, just see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 and 10 is given in here. Okay, this is pretty basic examples about the for loop, guys. Okay, and so what about this one? The string is another list, but a special list created by to the characters. Okay, and so for C in S, print C. What's the output of this code? Just tell me. Anyone? Yes, but in this case, Eren, we have difference because this print gives us to the new line. If we want to write just like this one, and so we need to give this one, Malta. Okay? At each case. See? But if I choose to what? X in here, and so see MX, AX, LX, KX, or your name, Eren. C, M, Eren, A, Eren, L, Eren, K, Eren, A, Eren, R, Eren, blah, blah, Eren. See? Do you get it? The syntax of these terms right now? Okay. So, in the third example, just remember the previous lesson. We have the fancy parentheses in here, just like this one, Ali and Veli and 10, 12.4 and Selami. We want to search the whole elements of this S. Okay? For X in S, because the S is a sequence. Okay? And so the print X can be given by with the what? The Selami 10, Veli 12, 4 and Ali, which is given in here. Okay? So, but if you want to search to the what? To the type of the terms, and so the type X can be given by this one. Veli is in the class of the str. Selami is in the class of the str. And 10 is int. 12.4 it's float. Okay? See? We can search the every element unless if we don't have the sequence values. Okay? This is sequence, and so the for can be applied by using of the what in. Okay? So what about this one? S Ali 1, 2, 3 Veli 4, 7, 8 Selami 7, 5 Ayşe 6, 5, 4. Okay? So 4 in this dictionary, which one is key, which one is value? The left or right? The type of the left is equals to the what, guys? In the dictionary? Just tell me. Yes. Thank you. And so for key in D, in here, I'm sorry, C, S. So the print key values, which is equals to the what? D key. S key. I'm sorry. See, Ali 1 2 3, Veli 478, Selami 75, Ayşe 654. Okay. This is the pretty basics examples about how we can reach the dictionary values in terms of the key. Just remember that this is the key, it returns to the key, but if we want to obtain the values of this key, and so the parenthesis key should be given in here, guys. Okay. Any question? If you don't have any question, and so L list can be defined with the what, just remember the previous lesson, we can give the tuple values in here, just like this one. The value and 65 and Selami 1 1 2 and goes on. And so in the for loops we can use the more than one variable at the left hand side of the int. For example, name and no can be given as a tuple in here in L, and so we can write the whole values name and no just like this one. This should be included to the tuple values, and so if I use this comma values in here, and so this creates or returns to the tuple, and so we can reach the elements of the distance just like this one. Okay, but what about this one? A B C and so, and also this is the code. Okay, and code is given by code. See, in this case we have the codes with in terms of the AAA, BBB and CCC, guys, right? Any question? And also we should give the another examples in here, just like this one. I can copy all of these terms in here, see, and so just similar with the previous example, key and values can be reached in these objects. The items returns to the what? To the key and value of these dictionaries. Okay, and so each part can be obtained by using these synonyms. Okay, and so if I run this code, the key and value can be obtained by using these terms. Okay. Any question? If you don't have any question, and so we should give a break for the 15 minutes, and after that we will continue with another for loop example, guys. Okay.